guys, you are welcome to Dssg Nation. So if this is your first time watching a video from Dssg Nation, do make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so we can notify you whenever we create a video. So today we are going to be talking about the description of the organ kidney. So pick your paper and your pen and let's get started. Hi guys. Yeah, welcome back. So we said we are going to be describing the kidney. The kidney. So to describe an organ, we used to use the acronym what? DOL S raised to power 4F. So if you are new to us, just make sure you drop by our video called acronym for describing all organ by Dssg Nation. So let's proceed. So we have the D, the O, L, S raised to power 4, and F. So for this D, it is called the description, and within our description we used to talk about three things. So the first one is the system of that organ, then to the color, and then finally we used to talk about the weight of the organ under the description alone. So the next one is the O, which means organ in relation. So we used to talk about the organ in relation, and then the L is location, and after that our S is shape, the size of that organ, the structure, and finally we used to talk about the supply. So the F is the function of that organ. Function. Now, using all these, let's start with the what? The description of what? Of the kidney. Now, talking about the system, just say it is an organ of the urinary system. You can also call it the organ of the renal system, because the word renal means kidney. So that is that about the system. To the color, it is reddish brown in color. Reddish brown in color. So that is the color. And then to the weight, it weighs about 113 gram to 170 gram. So that is the weight. It weighs about 113 gram to 170 gram. So the next thing is the organ in relation. So to talk about the organ in relation, I would like to talk about the location first. So let's go to the location first. For the location, we know that we have the 9 abdominal pelvic region. So these two sides directly under the cartilage is called the hypochondriac. Why? Because it is below cartilage. That's why they call it the hypochondriac region. So as you are touching your thoracic cage, so when you no longer feel the bone again, the bones and the cartilage, it means you're already in the hypochondriac region, which means this very part that I'm touching right now is my right and the left hypochondriac region. But the kidney is not located in its anterior part, but on the other way, it is located in its posterior part. So the kidney is located in the what? In the right and left hypochondriac region. Hypochondriac region. But now you are going to add a word, and that word is retroperitoneally. So the kidney is located in the right and the left hypochondriac region, retroperitoneally. And what is the meaning of that? The word retro means behind, and the word peritoneally is from the word peritoneum. Peritoneum. So what is the meaning of peritoneum? I will be talking more about this when I'm discussing the body cavities and the body membranes. But right now, just take it that way. There is something in the body called the peritoneum. So and the kidney is located behind it. Do you get that now? So that is the location, the right and the left hypochondriac region, retroperitoneally, which means it is behind the peritoneum. So let me now take you back to the organ in relation. Now, the kidney is just like this. Now, if this is the main kidney, this thing on top of it is called the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. Why? Because the word ad in adrenal, this word ad, it means adhere, which means to glue with something or to stick with something. And the word renal, I said it means the what? The kidney. So because it's called the adrenal gland, it means a gland that sticks with the kidney. They can also call it the suprarenal gland. Why? Because it's superior to the kidney, which is the renal. So this is the adrenal gland on top of the kidney, and then below the kidney we have the ureter. So they are the two tubes connected to the two kidneys that convey urine away from the kidney. So now, talking about the organ regulation, we know we used to talk about anterior, posterior, superior, and inferior. Now, superiorly to the kidney superiorly, we are going to find the what? We are going to find the adrenal glands. So, adrenal gland. So, that is superiorly. Now, inferiorly, which is below, we are going to find the what? We are going to find the ureters. So, the two ureter. So, ureter. Now, anteriorly, in front of it, what are we going to see? Anteriorly. So, in front of the kidney, what are we going to see? Don't forget, I said the kidney is located retroperitoneally, behind the peritoneum. Now, let me ask you a question. If you are hiding behind someone, let's say you are hiding from someone, but you are hiding behind someone. Now tell me, who will be in front of you? It will be the exact person that you are hiding behind. So I am hiding behind the camera now. So I'm behind the camera. So talking to you from what? From behind the camera. So it means what is in front of me is the camera. So if the kidney is behind the peritoneum, it means that the exact thing in front of the kidney is the peritoneum itself. So anteriorly, you can pick the peritoneum, and you are going to be correct. But we used to have a problem there. Talking about the right and the left kidney, if you are doing the organ regulation separately, you'll be picking for the right kidney, you'll be picking the liver, the hepatic flexor of the large intestine. So we call it the hepatic flexor of the colon. So, and then for the left, you are going to have the spleen, the stomach, and the splenic flexor of the colon. So, but if you want to combine it together, the word peritoneum, it goes straight in, because all these organs, they are inside the what? They are inside the peritoneum. Now, posteriorly, so at the back of the kidney, what can you see? They are just the muscles forming the what? Forming the posterior abdominal wall. So, and that is that for what? That is that for the organ regulation and the location. So the next thing is the shape of the kidney. The kidney is a bean-shaped organ. It looks like what? Like a bean. So the size is about 12 centimeter long. 12 centimeter long. Then you are going to divide that by 2. This is going to give you 6. So 6 centimeter wide. And then divided by 2 again. This is going to give you 3. So 3 centimeter thick. And that is that for the what? For the organ, for the size of the kidney. Now talking about the structure, the supply, and the function. I like to clean the board and come with the diagram of the kidney, so you can actually deal with what? The structures and the supply. So stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back. So I said we are going to be talking about the structure of the kidney. Just go and know that the structure of the kidney is made up of majorly 2 things, although it is more than that. So the first one is the covering of the kidney, and the second one is the layer. So layers of the kidney. Now let's start with the covering. From the word covering, it means something is covering the kidney, the kidney rather, but not just something. It is more than one. So let's start with it. So to draw the kidney, you come in with your what? With a shape, and the shape is what? The bean shape. So the bean shape, something of this nature. So that is your bean. Now don't forget, we said it has what? 3 coverings. So then triple the line. So follow the same pattern. So add one more, making 3 now. So the 3 coverings. So these are the 3 coverings of the what? Of the kidney. Now, what is the name of the first one? The name of the first one is called the renal fascia. Renal fascia. Now, what is the function of that renal fascia? The function of the renal fascia is to hold the kidney in place. To hold the what? To hold the kidney in place. It holds the kidney. So that is the function of what? The function of the renal fissure. So the second layer is called renal fat. Renal fat. So the renal fat, what is the function of the renal fat? The function of the renal fat is to absorb shock. So it is also known as shock absorber according to some big textbooks like Emerald and series. So they refer to it as what? Shock absorber. But what is the meaning of that? It got that name shock absorber from its function. So its function is to do what? Is to prevent the kidney against external trauma. Use the word protect rather. So to protect the what? It protects the kidney. Protects the kidney against what? Against external trauma. There's a question in Elimero. They said if a man is hit with a baseball bat on his back, so what is going to happen to the kidney? So unknowns, the kidney should be damaged because the kidney is closer to the back. So, but with the fact that we have the renal fat located at the second covering of the kidney, and its function is to protect the kidney, so nothing is going to happen to the kidney because the renal fat is going to absorb the shock. So the renal fat protects the what? It protects the kidney against external injury or trauma. Now, the last layer, so the innermost covering rather, so it's called the renal capsule. Renal capsule. So what is the function of this renal capsule? The function of the renal capsule is to protect the kidney from surrounding infection. So if there is infection within the human body, so it is going to protect the kidney. The renal capsule is going to protect the kidney from what? From catching that infection. So that is the function of the renal capsule. It does what? It protects the kidney against surrounding infection. So that is that about the three layers, the three coverings rather. So a quick recap, we said the kidney has three coverings: the renal fissure, which holds the kidney in place, then the renal fat, which protects it against external trauma. So the renal capsule is the one that prevents and that protects the kidney from what? From surrounding infection. Now, to the layers of the kidney, we have two layers majorly. Now look at my hand. So all this part that I'm tracing is the outer layer. So we are not going to put anything there. So this is the outer layer of the kidney. So and it is called the cortex. 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 So that is the what? The outer layer of the what? Of the kidney. So what about the second layer? The second layer is the inner layer. So to draw the inner layer, you are going to bring in another curve. So another curve, just like the beam. So you can stop like that. And then you are going to start rubbing it off. So rub it off. Rub it off. So you continue rubbing it off. So you can rub it off there. Now what are we going to do with this? We are going to turn it into a triangle. So we are going to turn it into what? A triangle. So turn it into a triangle by writing V. So V. Letter V. And with time is going to be turned into A. So after doing that, we are going to add lines into it. Striations, lines. But make sure the line does not cover the triangle totally. So this tip, just leave it. It will serve as another landmark rather. Now, you are going to ask me that what are these things? I said the outer layer is just all this place called the what? The cortex. But I said, okay, and then I started drawing all these guys. Now, look at all these things. That exact place that they occupy that I'm tracing right now is the medulla. So all these structures that I've just drawn, they are occupying the what? The medulla. So you can just label it as the what? Medulla. So what are the names of these guys? So their name is the renal pyramid. The renal what? The renal pyramid. Renal pyramid. So what is their function? You realize that they have something like lines. So those lines, they are formed by the collecting dot of a nephron. And you want to ask what is a nephron. But let me just quickly do a short introduction to the nephron into this box. So we have some structures in our kidney. They are called the nephron. So this is what they look like. So this part, this upper part is called renal corpuscle, and this other part is called the renal tubule. Now, this renal tubule, this part, we call it the collecting dot. Collecting dot. So this collecting dot, you can see that it looks like one. So that is the exact structure that forms the lines into what? Into this pyramid. Which means you are going to have the other part of the nephron inside the cortex. So inside your cortex, you have the what? You have the other part of the nephron there. So as the nephron is coming, its collecting dot penetrates into the renal pyramid and it forms lines. And that is what is responsible for those lines. Now, what is the function of this nephron? The function of this nephron is to form urine. So they are responsible for doing what? For forming urine. And then after the urine is formed, it's going to pass down into the what? Into the collecting dot. So it means urine is present inside the what? Inside each line that you can find there. So urine is inside it. So what's going to happen? This is renal pyramid. They are going to empty that urine into another space within the kidney. But it is through a hole that they are going to empty it. And that hole is this guy right here. So you start writing a curve. So start putting a curve into that space that I told you not to occupy with lines. So this space now is called the renal papilla. You can also call it the foramen papilla. Foramen papilla. So it is called the what? The foramen papilla. So after that, the urine is going to come from the what? From the cortex, like from the renal corpuscle into the what? Into the medulla. So and then the collecting dot of the renal pyramid is going to empty the urine through this hole called the what? The foramen papilla or the renal papilla. So it's going to empty it somewhere else. So where? So start writing U or V, anyone you like, anyone you choose, start putting it there. U. But it's going to be between the what? The two curves. So this is the tip of the curve and this is the tip of the other curve. So you write a what? A U there or a V, anyone you like. So keep putting it there like that. So U. So keep on writing it. It can be V as well. Anyone you choose to use. So just keep on doing that. So between the two arcs. So we have no more renal pyramid now to form V. So just come in with it and then bring it out to form the ureter. As simple as that. So right here, bring it out a little bit and then draw it downward as well. Now, all these spaces that I'm touching right here, they are called the minor calyx. Because when the urine comes out of the renal pyramid, it's going to enter into this minor calyx. So it's going to enter into what? The minor calyx. So you can label them as what? Minor calyx. Minor calyx. And after that, the urine is going to converge into what? Into this bigger site. And this place is called the major calyx. Major calyx. Now, when the urine comes into the major calyx, it's going to empty it into the what? Into the funnel-shaped structure of the kidney called the renal pelvis. So the next part is the renal pelvis. Renal pelvis. So and after that, the urine is going to be directed into the what? Into the ureter. Ureter. So and then it goes into the what? Into the urinary bladder and then into the urethra. So that is that about the what? About the cortex, medulla, and all the three coverings. And that is their function. So a quick recap: the cortex is the outermost layer, so it contains the renal corpuscle, and then the medulla is the inner layer, and it contains the what? The renal pyramid, which are striated. due to the what? Due to the collecting duct. And then the collecting duct is going to empty the urine through these pores, through these holes called the foramen papilla, into the what? Into the minor calyx. And from the minor calyx, it goes into the what? Into the major calyx. And from the major calyx, it goes into the what? Into the vena pelvis. From the vena pelvis into the ureter inferiorly. So that is that. Now finally, you are going to bring in your renal artery, and then your renal vein. So this one is called the renal artery. So it is the one responsible for supplying the kidneys blood, and this one is called the renal vein. Now look at it. This portal of entry is called ileum. So you can also put it there, ileum. So and that is the what? The diagram of the kidney, and that is what we are going to talk about while talking about the structure of the kidney. So that's exactly about the structure. So let's talk about the supply now. So for the arterial supply, it's going to be the renal artery. And then the next thing under our supply is what? The venous drainage. And that is going to be the renal vein. And the next thing is the what? The nervous supply. So the nerve supply. So the nerve supply for the kidney is just the sympathetic and parasympathetic supply. And now the function of the kidney. So the kidney has a lot of functions. So we are going to be digging deep into that while talking about the next one. But just know that the kidney is responsible for producing urine. The kidney is responsible for maintaining the blood pressure. The kidney is responsible for maintaining the blood water. The kidney is responsible for blood production. So why? We are still going to be talking more about that. So it maintains the body pH. So it maintains the body acidity and alkalinity. So those are the functions of what? Of the kidney. So that marks the end of this video, and I take it that you do enjoy this video. So if you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if this is your first time watching a video from Dssg Nation, do make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so we can notify you whenever we create a new video.